just has to happen. You have to move on. As hard as it is for me to do that, it has to. You have to move on. What's up, YouTube? It's the Pittsburgh Picker, and man, what a tough weekend. That was that was probably the worst weekend we've had reselling in a very long time, probably since we first started. Um, it just didn't seem like anything was really budging. It didn't seem like we were really moving any product, and then on top of that, sourcing was dry for us as well. It just we didn't. We got some decent things. We got some you know uh, we got some decent stuff. We didn't do horrible, but we didn't do what we normally do. And I don't know if it's the season changing and we're transitioning out of the garage sales and into more of an estate sales and Goodwill bin style of things. I'm not sure what exactly it was. We went to the larger of the two Goodwill bins over the weekend. You just saw the video just released yesterday or early this morning, depending on when you're watching this. And it wasn't our greatest trip there. Normally we come out of there with some pretty good stuff, and we didn't. There's actually footage of us going to another Goodwill that on the same weekend because we were just hammering trying to find product, and I didn't even film it. The bins were so empty that it wasn't even worth looking. You didn't even have to dig through them. You could look into the bin and see everything that was there. It was insane. So I didn't even film it. I filmed it, but I'm not going to release it unless you guys want me to. Comment below if you want me to release it. I'll release it. I think it's boring, but I'll gladly release it as kind of a blooper reel if you'd like. But it was bad. I mean, it was boring. There wasn't much there. The best footage we got is just all the bins being empty, and that's all it is. I mean, if you'd like to see it, like I said, comment below. Let me know. I'd love to. I'll gladly put it out. It's just, in my opinion, I thought it was kind of boring. We didn't buy anything. In fact, when we were going to check out, we had like 3 or 4 things in our cart that we were going to buy, and the line was so long, and the profit was really not that great to stand in the line. So we didn't. We actually left. Went to the flea market that you'll be seeing, depending on when you're watching this, another video where we actually bought some product. We actually bought something that actually completed something we bought previously. And the reason I'm not being really specific about that is because the next video I'm going to discuss how you should always be on the lookout for things that you need to make something complete. Things sell a little faster when they're complete. So stay tuned for that. But there is some other sad news to come out of this weekend, and I'm dealing with it. It's a little tough. So, without further ado, the GoPro Hero 4 has died. Well, it's not dead. I just hate it when people do that when they're like, "Oh, it's dead." It's not dead. It still works. But it doesn't really want to record more than 11 minutes and 50 seconds of footage. Then it just says SD card error, and it just doesn't want to record anymore. And with what I do and how much footage I film, especially when it comes to like the bins or large garage sales or something like that, I really can't keep an eye on the ticker every time and do what I have to, because it seems like if I eject the SD card and then put it back in, it'll function again, but I'll forget, and then I'll just lose a whole bunch of stuff, and it just won't work out. There's a bunch of hacks online and a bunch of things you can do to get it to work again, and maybe I'll do that. Been trying to talk my fiance into having a camera of her own. That way we can kind of switch back and forth between what she's seeing and what I'm seeing. But until that time comes and she actually wants to hold the camera herself, I probably won't mess around with this much more. It's time. It's time. As much as I hate it, hate to let go of it, it's time. And then, so I did. If you're noticing the video quality is a little better, that's where she's going to sit for a while, probably. If you're noticing the video quality is a little better, I did go with the GoPro Hero 8. I don't get any kickbacks from GoPro. I don't have any affiliates with them. I'd like to, if anybody's watching from GoPro and wants to sponsor. this show, that would be fine. But I do want to talk about it. It is a different animal to me because number one, it's completely waterproof, which I'm not used to with that. You know, in order to make that waterproof, you have to have one of these things, and the audio is just horrendous with one of these things. So I don't normally use that, but it was. It's a little bit of a different camera for me. It's does shoot a lot better. The video quality seems to be much better, and the audio quality, I think it should be better. I haven't edited too much with it yet, so I'll let you know in later videos if I think there's an issue with the audio, but there shouldn't be. It seems like a great camera. It is a little bigger than I'm used to, but it also is a little more discreet. This one stood out quite a bit on my shoulder because it's silver. This one's black, so it seems to be a little bit more discreet. Not that I mind anybody knowing that I'm filming, but sometimes the questions do get a little weird, and you do get the really people watch you go to garage sales on YouTube question, and you know you got to explain yourself, and it is what it is. You know, I don't mind it, but if I can avoid some of those questions and maybe not have to cut that out, you know, or if I have had people tell me, you know, you need to turn that off, and sometimes that sucks, to be frank, but it is what it is. So that's the sad news and the total failure that was last weekend. We tried everything. At one point, you'll see in a upcoming video, we tried to go to a closing J.C. Penney's. If you guys are in the Pittsburgh area, or even if you're in most very rural, well, not rural, but somewhat rural areas, a lot of the malls are really dying. There's only really one, maybe two malls in our area that's still kind of weathering the storm of, you know, competing with online sales. So there's a J.C. Penney's in Century 3 Mall, which is my fiance's favorite, well, was her favorite mall. She grew up in that area, and that was where you know, everybody went when you were teenagers and things like that. I grew up north of the city of Pittsburgh, and Century 3 Mall was the biggest mall in the area back then, and it was always kind of a treat to go there because it was so massive. And so it is very sad to see it close. In fact, the only store you could get into was J.C. Penney, and the rest of the malls actually closed down. So we actually went into a J.C. Penney thinking we could find some stuff at 90% off, and there just wasn't anything there for us either. We had thought about buying a bunch of really, really small jeans and seeing if we could turn them, but we passed, and it didn't go well. It did not go well. So if you're watching this video and you have tips and tricks, I'd love to know them. Comment below. That would be great. If you've seen this slowdown, or maybe if you had a slowdown last weekend and you were also wondering why, maybe, you know, comment below. Let me know. I'd love to know what you're doing, or what maybe you've changed, or if you changed anything, or maybe if it's just part of a Q4. This is my first Q4. I've never gone through this cycle of the selling in Q4, so maybe it's just a typical thing that happens right before the Christmas rush. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But good news is our sales are back to normal. It seems we started, you know, the week off like we normally do. So seems like things are getting back to normal for us. Seems like things are slowing down. The GoPro has been replaced, so we're back to being able to make some videos for you guys, and back to being able to make some content. I'm excited to check out the capabilities of this camera and see, you know, if there's anything new I can do or anything different I can do. So that's it for the little sad emergency press conference here. You know, I'm sorry if I've ruined your day knowing that my Hero 4 is no longer, well, it's no longer the primary camera. And sorry, you know, times do change, things do happen, and it just has to happen. You have to move on. As hard as it is for me to do that, you have to move on. It'll be here though. It'll probably stay right here, you know, watching, making sure that everything goes well. So that's it. So if you you know, if you haven't yet already, give this video a like, give us a subscribe, turn on the notification bell too if you can. That way you know whenever I do upload new videos, even if they are just me rambling and complaining like this one was. I try my best to keep it fun and lighthearted. I also try my best to express how I feel, and that's how I felt for the last several days. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time, bye.